Alright, well hello everybody and welcome back once again down into the Dungeon Gardens where we're starting off today's video, which was kind of mostly going to be about reclaiming the bear's den, and I'll show you a few of the things I've got going on up there. But there's a couple things growing on down here I wanted to show you, and of course the furnace now kicks in. So you're just going to have to bear with that as we go, apparently. Starting with probably the most ridiculous thing on the grow down here today would be these itty bitty beetroots that I threw in here because I found some very old seeds. The package had clearly gotten moist a few times and was not looking great. So I chucked them in here with all of this hard water damage apparently that's going on with these pebbles, and gave it a good soak, walked away, thought nothing of it. And we've got a little bit of growth going on here, so that's really amusing. Let's see, right now I've got LED shop light overhead, so not exactly the most intense light we've got going on. Here's a little succulent cutting I nicked from one of Shox's plants upstairs. If you look carefully, you can see that our downstairs little rodent guest has been nibbling away on this one, and moved it over here when I watered things earlier. Looks like I may have overwatered this, so I'll have to dump some of that out. But that poor little succulent there that had finally just gotten a start in life has been nibbled almost completely to nothing. Anyway, I have not seen any signs of that little bugger up on this table, so I'm hoping things are safe here. Here we have what was the really wilted mint planting for Shox, but I think this one might just make it. Again, overwatered, but that was on purpose because it's coming from the aquaponics. It really needs a moist soil for the first little while it gets established, and then it'll do a lot better. Looking over at the mint here, this is kind of where it was all covered up before, but we've got lots of fresh growth coming up in the back there, growing up towards this LED fluorescent, or this LED shop light, surprisingly well. Some new little sprigs coming up there. This poor sage. It's really still very pungent though. I mean, I'm rubbing it like you can smell it through the camera, right? But yeah, it's still, delightfully pungent. And when we burn this upstairs and doing smudges and stuff, very nice, very nice. Still not looking great for most of these, but remember last time when I said I thought I saw a little bit of green up on the top of this one here? Bingo, that looks like more green to me. So if, as I said in the beginning of this whole attempt, if I only get one out of this, I'm a happy bear, because that is one more that I can put outside in the garden next year and add to our perennial fruits and berries and stuff. And that is really very much a goal for me these days, is I want to get as much perennial fruit growing, or perennial food growing on the property as I possibly can. And the aquaponics is of course just to keep me sane in the wintertime, because I moved from the valley, man. I came from British Columbia. Winters here cold, man. They're cold. Anyway, so we're gonna pan down. I just topped up the water for the fish, so they're a little pissy with me because there was a garden hose in here, but they're all hiding in the back there. Their water's a little murkier than maybe normal, but I'm enjoying the addition of the rocks in the bottom of this particular fish tank, even though I know it doesn't necessarily keep it as clean as is possible. Look, these are not unhealthy fish, so it's all worked out fairly well, and I think they just pop a little better with the rocks in there. Here we've got that cucamelon, the mouse melon, that just will not die. My zombie mouse melon. It's all coming from a little tiny vine, but this sucker, it's just going to creep. I can't wait to see what this thing looks like by spring. Can't believe it hasn't died. Darwin table. The Darwin table. That new fern. Doing alright, doing alright. My host of spider plants. I'm going to end up taking some of these upstairs, I think, because I am once again reclaiming the bear's den. So, yeah, I'm going to have to put some green in there. Here's that. I put the name of it up in the last episode, or the last video, I can't recall it. I'm going to have to write it on one of these things, but a little bonsai tree, evergreen of some sort. Cassula something or other, I think. This is probably the one that's going to go upstairs. It's growing just in this little tiny... hot pepper. Look, Dungeon Rodent actually took a go at the lemon habanero. Didn't seem to like it much, but it took a go at it. Anyway, I'm going to take that. It's growing up in one of those little soup cups, and yeah, apparently a lot of people make bonsais out of these, so I'm going to take that one upstairs, I think. I want to take some of the spider plants. I might take the fern, because I think ferns are okay with lower levels of light. And it's surprisingly bright here on the Darwin table. Doesn't seem to bother the mouse, but you know, these cuttings, nice signs of growth there, nice signs of growth there. There's the cilantro that I rescued from upstairs. Seems to be doing fantastic. I guess, you know, people are pretty split on cilantro. It tastes like soap to a lot of people, and it tastes like heaven to a lot of people. But there's this, yeah, solid divide right in the middle, and there's no gray area there. What's left of the potato seedlings? Look at that, just ravaged. I got to throw some traps down here. We got the other semi-bonsai'd little evergreen here, kind of funky. Little bear rocking away, rocking away. But one thing I thought was really cool, and I went to look up the Latin name of it because, you know, I don't know. I've heard this was called a wandering Jew, but when I looked it up, it's a different plant. However, initially I was told this is a variation of a spider plant, and while it doesn't necessarily throw spiders, it's in the same basic family. However, it seems to be setting up some kind of flower. I hope my camera will focus on that. And I thought that was just absolutely lovely in there. Wanted to make sure I shared that with y'all before it disappears in case the rodent consumes it or whatever. But this is growing under, basically under that Sansi 70 watt LED that they sent me. See if I can get it in the shot without, you know, blinding y'all. It's decent at the 35 or 32 or whatever it is beside it there. But yeah, basically that covers this square area. There's not a lot of spread out with that light. So I like it for a spotlight, but it did not work for me for over the aquaponic table. There's that grass plant. Just so solid. This thing is sturdy, happy, healthy. I'm so impressed with it. Dracaena. Very cool. Oh, what I wanted to show you too, excuse me, while we were down here, and it's going to be hard to get to it, but this is the rescued aloe that I thought was getting all funky in the middle, and that still looks pretty funky in the middle, but looking down at the sides, look at this, that is definitely new growth growing under there. So I don't know if we're going to get pups out of that, or if that's you know, just going to be, I don't know, are they leaves, are they branches, I don't know. Oh, here from the side we can kind of see that growth there, and we've got another one coming up under the side there. So that's really exciting to me to see that it has come back. At least it is trying to come back, and it, you know, new growth. New growth is always good. So that's awesome. And then yeah, we've got that other aloe way over here with the Enterprise in it that I finally moved away from the LED, and you can sort of see on here the browning caused by being up against the heat sink. I got the grasses on it now. I might just have to lift this light, but the spider plants sure love it. You see how many little flowers it's throwing? Those things are going to be little pups, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them soon enough. My goodness, spider plants do love to overpopulate, but they're easy to keep alive, so you know, that's part of why I have so many of them. And I guess that brings us back to the god-awful lighting that is the den. Because, I mean, look, if you turn around, you know, it's quite a lot of fun with this camera, you know. Not a lot of room in here, and not a lot of light. So I'm going to have to dig out that old hydrant lamp that I had going when we first moved here. That thing's a lot of fun. It's got like 5 different lights on it, and you can angle it all over the place. Kind of like an octopus, kind of like a lamp. So we call it the Hydra, because it's got 5 heads, you know. Besides, what else are you going to call your lamp? Lots I got to do up here before I'm going to get things in a position where I'm happy to get growing again. But you know, Can't stand there. That's right underneath the light. I had a pretty decent pepper start up here when we first moved to this place. A couple years back, I had a pretty decent pepper start. But you know what has killed me almost every time with my peppers up here is those sapsuckers. So, I have an absolute resolution. Before I plant any pepper seedlings this year, I am ripping up this shag carpet. A, because it's shag carpet. And B, because can you think of a better place for those little sapsuckers to hide than in such lush, luxurious carpet? And it doesn't seem to matter how many times I vacuum or whatever I spray, those aphids live on. Oh yeah, happy potato harvest right there. And oh, spaghetti squash. Interesting bit about the aphid wars too there. I mean, y'all have noticed that for some reason my aphids seem to live through anything I throw at them, and people are like, hey, have you tried this? And I'm like, yeah, I tried it. You know, have you tried soapy water? Yeah, I got clean aphids. Have you tried garlic water? Yeah, apparently they enjoy Italian food too. Like, I've tried just about everything, except stronger soil. So that's going to be a whole different video topic. But I think I know why my aphids are living through everything. They're like, they develop resistances, right? Just like pests out in the field do with those various sprays and stuff that farmers put out there. The aphids in my garden really aren't any different. The ones that survived the garlic spray have an immunity to that. The ones who survived the soap somehow have an immunity to that. The one who survived the this, the that, the neem, the everything that I've done, the alcohol swabs in the bottom of the planter, and I've tried so many things. So they're basically immune to everything known to man. So I need to, in my opinion anyway, I need to remove from the room any potential hiding place so that I can bleach the blankety blank out of this room, and hopefully, if I'm a good boy and I do everything right and I pray to the pepper gods and I'll sacrifice a spider plant, I don't care, I'll do what it takes. Maybe I can finally get some more peppers growing out there this year, because not having a pepper patch this last year kind of drove me a little nuts, and has really cut down the amount of pepper powder that I enjoy in my daily diet, and I'm not terribly fond of that either. So while I'm glad to have a good supply from previous years and having saved it in dehydrated peppers and stuff, it's dwindling faster than my savings, so I gotta do something about those things. Anywho, I think on those notes, I'm going to wrap it up. I got lots to do in here, and it's getting kind of late. It's been kind of a long, babbly sort of video. Wanted to make sure I showed you that one flower down there, and I definitely wanted to make sure that I showed you what's going on with that rescued aloe, because I'm very excited. Yeah, stick around. We'll see what's happening with all that stuff, or I will be back with something new and different. Who knows when? We're still kind of waiting on that. Setting up the bear's den here, kind of with those videos in mind. So, yeah, I am working towards those goals. Bear with me. We're getting there. We're getting there. Anyway, much love, everybody. Play safe, stay safe, and, yeah, I'll see you next time.